Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
And we are so glad that you've decided to move towards the living room and
Waste a half an hour of their lives.
Well, I have to, we had quite an event in Milton. Apparently somebody hit a power pole.
Yes.
And I was actually at a meeting in Milton where there was power, and then the short distance
This was Tuesday night.
to my home, and everything is in darkness. And you know, we got in the house, and we had a couple little battery operated lights, and life was good, and it was a very peaceful, quiet, you know, there was a little battery left on my laptop, so I was playing a very quiet game of hearts while we were just enjoying the quietness. And
We were complaining about the fact that we missed Lost.
apparently one of my neighbors, being impatient with the power, I mean, you know, the power was off almost an hour and a half at that point, drug out the generator and fired up the noisy generator just so they could have a couple of light bulbs. And
It was about 2.5 hours that it was
yeah,
out.
total. Yeah. So you know, Santa Rosa week to the person who ran over the power pole and disrupted everyone's lives. You know, I got on. There was somebody, a friend of mine on Facebook, was, you know, well, this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad. And I said, could I remind you of Hurricane Ivan?
Yeah.
In 21 days without power where I was at, you know, 2 or 3 hours.
We went 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And this is the truth. My husband's father had brought the generator over. After 5 weeks, we were tired of it. And literally, their hands were just going up to hook the generator up to the house when the power went on up and down the street.
Yeah.
So do you think Gulf Power will be prorating our bills to?
Well, you know, everybody's power meter quit spinning, so you know they'll just
it
say,
better have quit spinning.
yeah. But you know, and it just I just thought about it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it won't be very long until hurricane season, so you know, get a few batteries, get you a couple flashlights, you know. Put your 5 gallons of water in the garage. Put some canned foods to the side, you know, and let's take care of ourselves this time, because I can just about guarantee you that FEMA's not going to be rolling in with a big truckload of stuff.
They're broke.
Exactly.
No MREs this time.
Exactly.
And let's just mention that we do have advertising slots.
That's right,
available.
ladies and gentlemen. You know, as always, if you're enjoying our show and you would like to join us, we have very affordable rates, and we would love to add you. Yeah, we'll you know, Deborah's pretty creative, you know, and we'll you know, y'all never see Best Boy, he's over there behind the camera, but you know, we'll come out to your place, shoot the video, and I think we can make you a nice commercial. So
complimentary filming and production services.
That's right. Come on and join the Santa Rosa week. You know, wow.
Experience.
Almost a year and a half, Deborah.
Yes. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years actually.
Amazingly enough, there hasn't been mass protest in the streets to take us off the air.
Not yet.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to we're going to kind of rehash a little bit of the Maritime Park Board. Even though, you know, that is in Escambia County, it does kind of have a regional impact to us. And
you had an experience over in Pensacola City Council.
Yeah, most of all, it was. I want to talk about it for some of the really silly things that have occurred in this. Everybody, the Pensacola News Journal, and there were quotes from various and sundry peoples in the community. They were wringing their hands over the financial abilities of one of the one of the contract people, you know. And I said, well, you know, I am a member of the Sunshine Brigade. I do know how to fill out a request for public information. So I filled out my request. I sent it to the City of Pensacola management. I sent it to the CMPA, the Community Maritime Park Associate Board. Sent it to them, and there was some gamesmanship involved in this, and let me be very specific with you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a subtle difference, but I want you to understand the subtle difference. The financial documentation that Mort O'Sullivan said, and he is the accountant for the Maritime Park Board, volunteer accountant. He said, I've looked at this, and I think his dollars are, he's got plenty. And just take my word for it. And I am going to have to stop, and I want to, on the issue of Mort O'Sullivan and Creole public accountants, the Pensacola News Journal and the blog, and I want to say, Pensacola News Journal, I appreciate you having a public opportunity for people to blog on your stories. I think it's important, and many times it brings things to the issue. There's a lot of folks out there that know a lot, but are a little reluctant to jump out there in public and talk about it. But one person wrote to the Pensacola News Journal blog, said, well, Mort O'Sullivan was in charge of doing the audit for the Santa Rosa County tax collector, and there was a few $1,000s missing there. His company was responsible for the Escambia County Sheriff's Department, and now we find out there's $1.4 million missing. And since Russ Edgar was the one that found both of those, let's just cut out the middleman and turn the books over to Russ Edgar and let him do the accounting.
I'm sure he'd love that.
Yeah. But, you know, look, personally, I wasn't satisfied with one person has looked at this, and that's why I made the request. And the technical aspect of it is that financial documentation had been given to the CMPA. They are the custodian of records, and they had that document. That's why I asked it from them. Where I believe that there was a misstep made was that they immediately sent a letter to the development group and said, and this all occurred on a Friday, ladies and gentlemen, they said, if you don't agree to release this documentation on the following Monday, then we'll release it for you. And the Sunshine Law, and we've really had to dig a little bit on this. Local attorney pointed it out to me that that is an improper delay. The custodian of records, they have the records. If you ask to see them, that is considered an improper delay, and actually it's a violation of the law. I didn't make a big deal out of that, but because of that, the city council kind of oversees the CMPA. I went to the city council meeting, and I expressed my constitutionally protected free speech, albeit only 4 minutes long, at a Pensacola City Council meeting. And let me just say this to the mayor and to the city council. I don't have the time right now to challenge you on that, but let me assure you that allowing only 4 minutes and a person to speak only one time at a council meeting is certainly not in the spirit of the Sunshine Law, and I believe it is a violation of open meetings law.